What are you dressing up as this year?
Oh, for Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how much I love Halloween.
Yes.
And you know how much I love to dress up.
And you have done some over the years. Are you going to post, because now I'll put you on the spot so that you do, that slideshow of your different...
Yeah, I'll put it on Instagram or something.
You as Richard Simmons may be the single greatest thing I've ever seen.
So there's two wonderful things about that costume. First of all, the night I went as Richard Simmons, I went out in Northeast Minneapolis, which is...
And no one knew who you were?
No, everyone knew who I was. But and it was kind of like, it was maybe pre-Uber?
Or Poober.
Poober. And we couldn't get a cab home. I couldn't. And
Did you jog it out?
I did. I ran home. And I was like,
Did you feel extra?
I did. I ran home. And it was like, he's my alter ego. I have learned. I felt very much myself. But I was like, oh, thank God for these shoes. And then the other thing is, I took a class with Richard Simmons, a workout class. I showed him the picture. And he was kind of like offended in person. He was like, I don't know. The reaction wasn't really like what I was hoping for. This was also about a month before he disappeared. Do you know how Richard disappeared? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you listened to the whole podcast about it?
Do you know where he went?
No, he's at his house. He's at his house, and there's a whole...
Counting his money?
Well, there's a whole... People are wondering what's happening. They are wondering if his, housekeeper is sort of, keeping him there. They're wondering if he's having major health issues. His brother's somehow involved. Maybe it's a
There's not
Britney
a free
Spears
Richard.
thing.
Really?
Yes. Yes, there is a free
Are you
Richard.
Kidding me?
No, there's a free Richard movement. I mean, it's kind of cooled down a little bit, but Google it. Let's Google it later. Richard has disappeared, and people aren't sure if he's being held against his will. I know.
Dun, 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 dun.
But since he disappeared, he has posted my picture of me in my costume on his Facebook page, from his Twitter account, @TheWeightSaint, and on Instagram. I am Simmons famous.
I am goosebumply with excitement.
Liza Minnelli hasn't posted my costume, but that was also another good one.
It was brilliant. I don't want to ruin it for everyone. I was trying to tease.
Well,
but it is an incredible carousel, but you're going to post it.
I will post it. But the thing is, now that I have kids, I kind of don't... my enthusiasm has sort of disappeared for my own costuming.
Oh, okay. So you're working on their costumes.
Sort of. But, kids, I don't really like it when... I get it if they're a baby or something, but when kids have a witty costume that, their parents came up with, that makes me sad. I want my kids to pick their own. Yeah. So Clark is going as Bigfoot this year. Okay. Which I love. And Arlene is going as Belle, because Grandma bought her a Belle from Beauty and the Beast dress at Disney.
I know who Belle is.
Belle. I know, some people don't. Belle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... Well,
the reason I know Beauty and the Beast is that at the Magic Kingdom, one of the best things to get is the pork shank at the Beauty and the Beast fast food area. It's one of the better hidden items at Walt Disney World.
Didn't have it.
That I collect, where the best food stuff is.
Yes. Oh. I know where they don't have good coffee.
Anywhere. Yeah, that is something... Okay. You would think they would contract with someone else who does coffee well.
They have Starbucks in each of the parks, but that is Correct. You need a freaking lightning lane for that. Look, now we're bringing it back to Disney again.
You didn't have someone just to get you coffee when you...
No, I'm not you.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Yeah, Halloween. My costume is very simple, and it's very inside, but I have a jumpsuit. I'm not wearing them today, but I have a whole collection of glasses, and I'm going as Missy Robbins. I'm going to make a huge thing of pasta and pretend to give pasta to kids when they come to the house.
You should actually just dump that pasta right in their bag. Wouldn't that be funny?
It would be funny.
And then they would cry when their parents had to throw everything away because, your pasta's probably coated with
Here's
THC
the problem,
or
and I'm going to sound really bougie. So you're going to have to rescue me.
What's new? Okay, continue.
I said you're supposed to rescue me, not bury me.
Right. Okay. Anyway.
So, our driveway is really long.
Yeah. Do you even get trick-or-treaters?
We have. Okay. So, trick-or-treaters, we get older kids. And the reason is neighbors have told us the little kids are scared to come down my driveway. And the reason is, we've lit the forest.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to light my forest. It's taken me several years to do it, but it was my dream when I built this house.
Exterior lighting, underrated. It's so good.
And ours is pretty.
Yeah.
I've got nice exterior lighting.
Yes.
But I have a very long driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And, you come in from the road, you go down this section, and you turn in, and then there's a long loop. But I purposely don't have driveway lights. I've just illuminated the forest. So it's very scary to little kids, which I didn't realize. But once I was told this by parents, I was like, oh my God, I totally get it.
Uh-huh.
So this year, I'm doing little luminaria things and lining the driveway so they feel safe walking down there.
And then are you gonna scare the shit out of them when they get to your house?
No, I don't do that. We have we have a huge thing of candy.
Yep.
And then I'll be because part of my costume, Missy Robbins is one of my favorite human beings in the world.
I'm sure the trick-or-treaters will get it.
I just wrote by the time Halloween comes out, it'll be up. I just wrote a thing for the Wall Street Journal that I felt her book was the best cookbook that came out last year.
Okay.
And my friend Gregory Gourdet won the Beard Award in that category. But I thought Missy's was, or maybe it was a different category. I forget, but Missy's did. And I said to friends, this is the best cookbook that's come out in years, not just this year. So if you don't have Missy Robbins' pasta cookbook, get it.
I'll link to it.
But I bought a jumpsuit because she famously wears jumpsuits 99% of the time. The last time I saw her, she was not wearing one. And I looked at her, I said, what are you doing? Like, you're not on brand, Yeah. But I'm going to make pasta and pretend to be giving it to people. And several people have said to me, like, no one will understand who you're going. And I said, but I will. It's more of an homage thing.
Also, a similar thing happened at our park in our neighborhood does a Halloween party. And our one neighbor showed up dressed as the chef from Wet Hot American Summer. Have you ever seen it?
Yes.
Okay, it's like my favorite movie. And I was like, you're chef from Wet Hot American Summer. And he's like, you're the only person who knew. And my wife said, if anybody knows what you are, be friends with them because they're cool.
Yeah.
So if someone gets it,
that's
your new
they're
BFF.
Cool. They're cool. What do you traditionally give?
Okay, so
because people tend to give the stuff they want to eat.
Oh yeah. So I bought the Halloween candy. I have hidden it
already
at the house. Oh well, because if you go get it anywhere, like if you get too close, then all of a sudden you're giving out sixlets and the shitty candy.
I love sixlets.
Well, I mean, me too, but it's just.
What's the good stuff? The like mini Laffy Taffies and stuff like that.
I got Take 5.
Okay.
Because that is like you can only find it at Halloween, as far as I can tell. And then I got some like Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't do full size stuff. Our neighborhood.
We don't, I do full size stuff.
No.
But they now have those like 4-pounders of mixed. So I'm literally, today, tomorrow, we'll be going to CVS. Actually has the best, and Walgreens have the best candy section because they have every brand in those 4 or 5 pounders. So I get a huge collection.
I did Target.
Some of my favorites.
Yeah.
The Tootsie Roll flavored rolls. Strawberry, vanilla, lemon, lime, orange.
You have the gross house. Continue, I'm sorry.
Wow. Mini Laffy Taffies.
Okay, on board.
Mini sour anything.
Yeah.
Okay, it could be sour rope, Sour Patch Kids, whatever, but you need to have mini sour stuff. Mini Junior Mints.
Okay.
Mini York Peppermint Patties, because I love to eat those.
Yep.
Right? Peanut butter cups.
Yep. But the full size one or the minis?
No, the special Halloween
we bought some
pumpkin
of those this year
shaped
too.
ones, which I like. What else do I get in that category? Sadly, my favorite candy, different types of like exotic weird licorice that's heavy on the salt. Kids don't like, so we don't have that. And I don't have, I can't throw loose circus peanuts in there, and those are my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my candy thing. However, I also ordered on Amazon the 800-piece Mexican candy thing, which I love. So it has all the tamarind stuff
with the chili stuff.
So I'm putting that in kids' things so that'll scare them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's also on brand for me, and I'm obsessed with Mexican candy. So if you too love Mexican candy, from the those tiny little chicle gum things to the tamarind chews and all the rest of that kind of stuff, just go on Amazon.
I thought you were going to say, come to my house.
You can literally, no.
The address is.
You can plug in, if you love French candy, or some people love Swedish candy.
They have a lot of
you just plug in Swedish candy, and there's like a 600-piece collection for like $20. It just arrives the next day. It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. All right. So
what's Josh going as?
Well, see, Josh goes as the same thing.
As a husband?
No, he goes as the same thing every year, except for the year I made him dress like Jerry Seinfeld and I went as Elaine. But he has this vintage race car driver suit.
Yes, now that you're saying it.
But the zipper is broken on it now, so I mean.
Aren't you going to darn it for him?
No, I'm not that kind of wife.
You don't do darning?
No, and you don't darn. It's a zipper. A darn is a sock, I think.
No, darn is repairing any hole or tear.
Yeah, but it's the zipper that doesn't work.
Oh, it's the actual
zipper. Yeah, it's just sort of. No,
a little
it's just
soap, or do you have to actually replace the zipper?
I think you have to replace the zipper.
Okay. Well, maybe he could do that for himself.
Yeah, one of our last pre-kid.
He's an engineer.
I know, but we had a pre-kid Halloween. Went to a shared bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Don't go to one of those, or don't have one of. It was a little too much for you truly, but somebody maybe drank a little too much while wearing that costume, and I kind of never want to see that costume again. Gotcha.
It's like the opposite of a tequila hangover. It's an actual clothes hangover.
I mean, for him, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I like you anymore.
Most embarrassing Halloween moment.
Mine? Wait,
Halloween moment you regret the most in your life.
Are you thinking of something specific?
No, I wasn't around. I have one.
Oh, great. I would love to hear it. Maybe it'll jog my... Oh, actually, I have one too.
When I was in grade school, UNICEF would send orange boxes flat to schools, and they were given out one per student, and the idea was you fold it and you put it together.
I know it.
And it looked like a little milk carton with a slot, and you would say, trick or treat, and get your candy, you'd say, will you donate anything for UNICEF? Which helps children all over the world.
Right.
So the 2022 Andrew does work. I work for the UN. I mean, it's like I do a lot of stuff for the UN. And one of the things I regret, and there is a UN event where I believe I will meet the head of the UN, and I will finally scratch that amend off my list that's been there. I mean, I've kind of already made the amend because I've given them enough money to make but the one year with those boxes, I was like, why am I giving away the money? Like I had $30. I had $30 into, which by the way, in 1969 money
could have fed
was
a lot.
Oh no, I had $30 back then when candy bars were 10 cents. Pizza was 25 cents a slice, and I had $30.
Yeah.
I was getting like $1 a week allowance. I got $30, maybe more. Because some people would put dollar bills in there. It's going to a cause, and we lived in a nice neighborhood in New York, so I was going around getting all the stuff, and I kept the money.
Ooh, that's very not cool.
You had to give it in, but I left like
you skimmed
pennies.
A little off the top.
I left all the pennies.
Yeah.
And then I skimmed a lot. A lot.
You gave them the skim.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
that was the Halloween moment I regret the
Yeah.
most.
I mean,
Well, there were some things in college where
I was just gonna
I dressed
say.
up and, you know, there were things that I did that other people told me that I did that I'm not proud of.
We did, I went to UW-Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Epic Halloween party every year.
You and my dad went to the...
Yeah, at the same time.
At the same
we were in
time,
the same fraternity.
Yeah.
And, I went there one year where my friend, who I will not mention, was on the news dressed as Where's Waldo, breaking into, with a brick, broke the storefront window from some business on State Street. I mean, it just like, it was a very rioty sort of environment. Another friend of mine ended up getting pepper sprayed in the face while wearing a chicken costume. And, you know, I mean...
That didn't happen. I think I made out with the guy on the hood of a car outside of the town bar, Macaulay's, or something like that.
I mean, that sounds fun, at least.
I mean,
maybe.
Well, Vassar, when I went there, was very different.
Yeah, how so?
Well, I mean, there were like, 3,000 students.
Were they mostly women?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
like massively, mostly women.
Mm-hmm.
But it slowly ratcheted. So, I mean, it was still like, I don't know, I'll make it up, 70-30 or 65-35 when I graduated.
Okay.
And they made up a lot over those 4 years. But there were, I mean, it was very gender, I mean, hard to think that 1979, for example, was probably as gender fluid there as a lot of other schools are now.
Okay.
Where it was just certain things were accepted, very, very safe environment for people of all kinds to experiment in any way that they wanted to, and it was very, very progressive that way. The guy was super hot. I mean,
how do you remember?
No, but some friends actually have a picture.
They do?
Yeah.
Well,
it was from the same year that
I know,
you have that picture that you found in my office, so
I found a very incriminating Polaroid.
Well,
You had a bachelor party. No one needs to know about that. Any
No, we
more
can
than they
say
do.
now.
Yeah, and then you put it in a dictionary, and then like
Never to be found again.
35
and
years
you guys
later,
found it.
I found it. Yeah, I mean,
It happened.
It did happen.
It did happen.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Go fork yourself.